We have already delved into rendering an index.cshtml view to associate with our home controller. In this lecture, I'm going to show you how you emit into your view some model data associated with the mydata.cs file that we created in our models folder. We are going to delve into models in future lectures. We are going to look at view models, view components, and develop all of our layout pages associated in our ASP.NET Core project. But in this case, I just want to emit some data to associate with our model and emit it into our view that we are going to create. So I'm going to come right here under my index method, and I'm going to type public iActionResult, and then I'm going to type first view. And technically it's not our first view, but I'm just going to show you right here. And I'm just going to return a view. Now right there I have my first view method on my home controller. And what I have to do to render this view is I have to come down here and create a view that associates with the first view naming convention on this controller. So I'm going to come right here, I'm going to click Add New Item, and I'm just going to add a new view. So right here I'm going to go to .NET Core, I'm going to put my MVC view page, and I'm going to name it First View. Remember, the view name has to associate with the controller method that you're implementing. So right here I have first view. It matches inside of my home view folder. What I'm going to do, like I did in the previous lecture, is I am going to associate some data from mydata.cs file. So right now I'm going to create a model, say var model equals new mydata. And that's associated with the mydata.cs file in our models folder. I'm going to instantiate some data associated with this. So I'm going to say my ID, and I'm going to say that equal to 3. And then I'm going to say my value, which is a string, is going to equal my view. And right there, what I'm going to do, I'm going to pass this model data to my view. So let's go over here, let's copy this, and let's pass that to our view right here. So now we are passing this data to our view, and then when we go to the first view.cshtml page, we can pull in that data into the view. So we can come over here, and you can type just a paragraph. I'm going to create 2 paragraphs. And inside of this, I'm going to type the @ model, and I'm going to type whatever my data is associated with this model that I'm pulling into my index method. So right here I have my ID, which is the first property associated in my class file. I'm going to pass that there. So I'm putting @model.myid. And then the second item I'm going to associate here is the other item I have on the home controller. So what's the second property? My value. So that's what I'm going to associate right here. And right now, what should be emitting to this view is what's being passed in the first view method on my home controller. We're creating a model variable, and we're instantiating a new object instance of my data, and my data equals 3, the my ID property equals 3, and the my value property equals my view. So this is what should be rendered when I run this view inside of my first view.cshtml file. So right now, let me right click and say view in browser, and let's see what renders. And now it's going to the default route associated right there. So what is the route we want to get to? We're going to go home/first view. And look at that. It's emitting the data we associated in our home controller. So right here, if you look at this, my ID equals 3, and then the my value property equals my view. So when we come in here, and let's go ahead and put this next to each other. So when we come in here and we implement this, shrink this a little bit so we can see. So right now, when we come and implement this, we could change this property. Let's say we're going to change this to 4, and we're going to change this to my view now. Refresh this page. You'll see it automatically update, which is the nice thing with ASP.NET Core. You don't have to rebuild the app to emit the new data. So right there, you have 4 and my view now and exclamation points. So right here, we're emitting that to our view. And then in our first view, we're associating that model data. As you've noticed, I did not get any IntelliSense to associate those 2 properties. So what we're going to associate right here is we're going to come to the top of the page, and we're going to type @model. And then we're going to associate where we're at. And in this file, we're going to put course project, which is the name of our solution. And then we're going to type models, and it's giving you the IntelliSense. And then if you want to go further, we want to go into the mydata.cs file. So we'll type mydata. And now that we have that associated inside of our view, if we come here and remove one of these properties, we will have the IntelliSense to associate with that property on that class. So in this case, we have my ID, and then we have down here my value. Let's save that, and then let's go back in here one more time to show you. Let's change these properties to 5, and then let's change this view here. Let's refresh that, and you will see the changes associated with our model, and this is how we emit a view to associate with our model data. We will go further to examine the different ways you can implement your models, whether you're utilizing view models, view components. There's a lot of different ways to render your model data inside of your views, and we implement this through our controller to pass that to our view. So as you can see right here, we've modified the myID property to 5 and the myValue property to myView and 3 exclamation points. So in future lectures, we are going to example model data, and this is what we'll delve into next once we cover a few more topics on MVC.